Cheating in video games is obviously something that's as old as video games, but some developers really just want you to know that they're disappointed. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx, 10 games that call you out for cheating, part 2. Now, given there's a part 2, that means we did a part 1. It was actually fairly recent, so if you like this video, go back a little bit and check out our first one. I'm not going to waste a bunch of time promoting part 1 of a video that's labeled part 2 so you know exists, so let's get going with number 10, The Longing. Well, this game is a really strange indie that is all about waiting. Waiting 400 days to be precise. Seriously, that's your main goal of this game. You wait around for 400 days and that triggers the ending. What you do in the meantime is wander around slowly, like very slowly, and hopefully find something to keep yourself busy, because this game is all set to a timer rather than some kind of in-game time units. You can't just find a bed or sleep for 400 days like with Skyrim or something. You gotta wait it out. There's a few things you can do to speed up time, but it's not gonna make it take a short period of time, and that makes some players tempted to cheat. The game actually uses your PC clock to tell it what time it is, so it's possible to go offline and adjust your clock to skip forward, and if you do this, the game will know, and the punishment is swift and brutal. If it catches you trying to cheat the clock, then your little guy gets transported into a dungeon with a ball and chain where you have to click 400 times to be forgiven. If you're crazy enough to just sit there and click 400 times, the game will let you fix time and start over, but if you keep trying to cheat, it'll just throw you back in prison again. At number 9 is Banjo-Kazooie. Hidden in the treasure trove level of this classic Nintendo 64 platformer is a sandcastle that's got the alphabet on the floor. It's used to solve a really simple puzzle, but it's also where you can input hidden cheats. You just have to ground pound the letters in a certain order, and there's a lot of cheats in the game. Most of them pretty harmless, but a few of them, especially the ones related to unlocking levels, can actually be dangerous. Seriously, if you put in 3 of these cheats in a row, you'll get a message from the tutorial guy Bottles where he warns you about cheating and says that if you continue, he will erase your save. The crazy thing about this is that it's not just an idle threat, at least on the original Nintendo 64 version of the game. If you use 3 cheats, you get the message about your saves being deleted, but at least at first it seems like a joke because you can keep playing the game normally. It is a trick though, because if you get up and say, "Oh yeah, Bottles, you want me to stop cheating? Watch me." No, seriously, take a look. Oh, I'm cheating again. Yeah, if you do that and then turn off the game and start it up again, your save is going to be gone. This one's especially nasty because the game already had a part where it threatens you to erase your save if you talk to Bottles too much in the opening, but that's actually just a joke. This time it's real. Bottles is like, "You're gonna take me seriously, Banjo, you bird-carrying bear." And he doesn't just call you out for cheating, he punishes you in the worst way possible. At number 8, way back in 2015, some players figured out an unlimited money cheat in The Witcher 3. Basically, players had to find a group of cows, kill all of them, collect their hides, then meditate. Now, when you meditate in The Witcher, time passes. And when time passes, cows respawn. Basically, you just kept repeating the killing of a group of cows, a herd, and you get a whole bunch of hides, and you sell them. Find a merchant, you sell them. So, CD Projekt Red was up for some trolling. They put out a patch for The Witcher 3 that had something they called the Bovine Defense Force Initiative included in it. So, you do the cow thing, you meditate, and when you wake up, and you're like, it's time to kill more cows, you're attacked. I'm not 100% sure why it's called a chort, because it looks like a goat with horns, and chort doesn't sound like goat or horns all that much. Still, the chort appears, attacks you, stopping you from killing more cows and collecting more hides, and just when you think it's all done, you beat the chort and you're like, it's not that big of a deal. Another chort comes, and it keeps happening. So anyway, they stop people from getting a whole lot of money real easy, killing cows, and also invented a new monster, the chort. You got chorted. At number 7, Tachyon the Fringe, Bruce Campbell insulting you. This is mostly forgotten space game with probably the most memorable aspect is that the main character is voiced by B-movie legend Bruce Campbell. A big part of his appeal is him being a smartass. He's very good at it, and unsurprisingly, he has some pretty good lines in the game. For the story, he generally plays it pretty straight, but if you start using cheat codes, he will roast you mercilessly. Every time you input a cheat code, he'll throw out one of several lines making fun of you, like,
"Oh, I see. It's time to cheat. Okay, that's fine. No, go ahead, cheat. It's all right."
which like isn't the most creative thing you've ever heard in your life, but coming out of his mouth, his execution of this type of stuff is just fantastic. And it is pretty funny, but honestly, it can feel kind of embarrassing.
Oh, so now you're using a cheat code. You know, you're pathetic, you know that? Just play the game.
If you played it with friends around, you'd probably want to turn the volume down if you're going to cheat, because most people don't love getting chumped out by Bruce Campbell in front of their friends. At number 6 is Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. One major recurring character in Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines is this biker-looking dude named Smiling Jack, who for whatever reason is the one character in the game who can break the fourth wall, other than yourself if you're playing a Malkavian. He's the one you talk to get the tutorial, but he detects that you've cheated, and if so, you'll get a different message from him. He just makes fun of you for cheating, but unlike in other games where you're forced to take the game's abuse, you have the option to respond. You can actually accuse Jack of being jealous, or just say that you've got a mod installed. Either way, he'll leave you alone. It's kind of a funny little surprise to find at the start of the game, and one of the many reasons why people still talk about it to this day. At number 5 is Persona 3. One common element of the newer, and I guess it's not really newer now, but the latter, I guess, Persona titles is a navigator, a character that doesn't actually fight in battle, but is still present and can assist in a few ways. Like they might give you hints on how to deal with enemies, they might up your attack for a few turns, etc. In most of the games, that's pretty much all they do, but in Persona 3 at least, they also call you out for cheating. There's only a few lines, about 6 in total, but if the game detects that you're cheating in some way, they'll pepper in normal dialogue with lines accusing you of cheating.
Cheaters never win.
And even though they say they're going to punish you, nothing happens. It's an empty threat. But keep in mind, cheating in the game isn't something you can just do. It pretty much requires a third-party device, at least if you're on original hardware. So most people would never hear these messages, and they were fully voiced, at least in the Japanese version.
Cheating, huh? I'm disappointed in you.
At number 4 is Perfect Dark. Rare really loved their cheats back in the Nintendo 64 days. Like basically every game, they had a big selection of cheats. Perfect Dark in particular had a extreme amount of cheats, and even though you could only use them by unlocking them through gameplay, the game still had to call you out for having the gall to actually use them. I believe they call that gaslighting now. Whenever you complete a mission with cheats enabled, no matter how harmless they are, like DK mode, you get labeled a cheater on the end screen. Hell, even cheats that make the game harder still call you out at the end. The mission status says cheated. Your agent status is dishonored, and you can't save your progress, meaning that if it's a mission you haven't beaten, you can't play the next one. At number 3 is Super Monkey Ball Jr. The Konami code's a classic, probably the most well-known cheat code out there. It's burned into my brain. You don't even have to look it up. It's up, up, down, down, left, right, BA start. Sometimes the old age is catching up with me and I decide that it's AB start. This is the most ubiquitous cheat code out there. Why is it no? Oh, I'm doing it wrong. Some games that utilize it actually don't have the B or the A in it at all. Just up, up, down, down, left, right, start. And you don't even really need to press start in some of them, but you get the idea. This code pops up all over the place. There's dozens, if not hundreds of games where you can use the Konami code, and they aren't all made by Konami, obviously. Most of the time it's helpful, but there's at least one little weird Game Boy Advance game that calls you out on it. That game is, of course, Super Monkey Ball Jr. On the title screen, if you put in the Konami code, the name of the game will change to Super Nice Try. Nothing else happens, it's just a game making fun of you. There are a few other cheats that you can enable that actually work, but not the Konami code. And number 2 is MechWarrior 2. If there's one set of cheat codes almost as iconic as the Konami code, it's the Doom codes. You know, IDDQD, level select, and IDKFA, the give everything code. The Doom codes were so iconic that many other PC Doom clones, as they were called at the time, had the same codes in them. Some punished you like Heretic, while other games just had the codes. MechWarrior 2 is one of those games. It shared a few cheats with Doom, except for the most famous one. If you tried to enter IDKFA while playing MechWarrior 2, instead of getting full ammo, the screen would just turn white and you'd get a message saying, "This ain't Doom, bub." Because I guess the internal voice for MechWarrior 2's existence is Wolverine. But anyway, your mech would explode. Instead of getting an I win button, you get an instant failure button, though. It's kind of a big ouch. And finally, at number 1, the Tales of Destiny remake. Most games at least try to disincentivize players from grinding, usually by making it so fighting the same enemies over and over again just gives you diminishing returns. The Tales of Destiny remake for PlayStation 2 also does something different, because the game actually gives you a way to easily level grind right from the start. It's got an auto mode you can switch to that makes fighting random battles a cinch. And if you use the old rubber band trick to keep your character moving, you can fight endless random battles and level up your character without even trying. The devs accounted for this, though, with one of the most bizarre anti-cheat mechanics I've ever seen. If you leave the game running an auto battle for 20 minutes straight, then the next time your party gets to a random battle, instead of fighting some easy little creature, the final boss from the second Tales of Destiny game appears and says, "No auto leveling ever," in the most over-the-top way possible, and then he destroys your party. You literally cannot beat this guy in this form. He only exists to destroy you for auto leveling. It's a call out and a punishment, and also just plain bizarre as an Easter egg, all in one. And a quick bonus for you, Doki Doki Literature Club, a free-to-play visual novel that got a lot of traction on Steam a few years ago. It's got a weird fourth-wall-breaking story and felt kind of like a creepypasta come to life. That attracted a lot of people to it. It takes a while to get there. Like, you have to sit through a lot of painful visual novel stuff, but once you get to the good stuff, it does actually get a lot more interesting. There are layers to the story being told, and parts of it aren't even really told in the game, but in the system files. The game actually hides secrets in certain character files, but changing these doesn't really count as cheating, per se. If you try to copy a save file from a different act and try to redo some choice, then the game is going to stop you and hit you with a blank screen and some text that says, unable to load the save file. Seems like a simple error, but then it follows up with the character Monica popping up and straight up asking if you're trying to cheat. There's a few ways to work around this message and cheat for real, but it's a pretty fun surprise for people messing around with the system files.
And that's all for today. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. Best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription, so click subscribe. Don't forget to enable all notifications, and as always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter @FalconTheHero, and we'll see you next time right here on gameranx.